He says notifications working again. Sure they are. Sure they are. Good evening, afternoon, whatever time you want to consider it. Oh, did we drop that? We dropped that. Audio? Well, yes, I have audio. Perfect. All right, let me get this thing set up over here, and then I got to move my screen. Oh my! I already tried this. Man, I have no idea what is wrong with my browsers. Why they all of a sudden don't want to let me log in. Did I make it? I might have made it. All right, perfect. All right, let's get started on something. Check that the camera's working that we have. All right, continuing on with what I was doing. Audio good, 720p rolling, 15% battery. You better grab a cord, sir. You better grab a cord. Let me get this somewhere where I can use it. Eee. So, still in the mail. We're waiting on this one. I'm going to place it off to the side. And funny enough, the one screen that's bad, the person contacted me, or the digitizer that's bad that I packaged up to ship out today, they said don't even bother sending it. And so I have this digitizer, and then I have one of the two of these screens. I'm not sure which one, and the other one is coming through the post today. And yeah, we'll get there eventually. But before we get into the tablet extravaganza, I want to take a look at this controller. You can only do so much part swapping, even if you had a break over the weekend on it. Let's take some of this crap, set it off to the side for right now. Oh, let me see. How would I do that? Bring up Chrome. Go here. I'm just pinning something to the top of the YouTube chat if I get a sec. Where's that link going to take me exactly? These little heart things, I hate them. The little things that get in the way when you're trying to do something in chat. They're finally moved. All right, so we're pinning that to the top. That's the link to the Twitch channel. Anyhow, Xbox controller is what I want to take a look at. We'll put up the title so I know what video we're dealing with. This isn't well, this will probably be a part swap too. So I got this controller for free, and this one is going to replace this cursed controller that I've had for the longest time that works fine, except for the triggers are stuck at 100%. So you can imagine what that does when working on a console, or you want to try to test like the resolution, GWin, mess with any settings or whatever. It's like constantly holding the trigger, so it's jumping all over the place. My friend had this on his desk. It fell off, and he gave me this controller, and we've got a dead stick here. It just kind of floppy, and I'm guessing broken thumbstick. But if it's the actual potentiometer, thumbstick that's in there and not just this broken, we can fix that. Anyhow, we're going to take a look at that quick and probably harvest parts off of this one possibly, or something. We'll find something to harvest from. Not quite sure what yet. Actually, we might see, I have some old Sony controllers that may just fit the bill. Let me see, I have them here or there. These go back quite a bit. I don't really like the thumbsticks though, but I'm sure they would almost certain they may fit. These are DualShock 3 6-axis ancient controllers. But nah, I don't like the domed one. I like when they have a little indent. So we're not harvesting from that. Scratch that idea. Yeah, whatever. We'll tear the Xbox one apart if we have to. Anyhow, let's get on and see what's broken on this. Get on to bigger and better things. Do these still have the pop-off sides, I'm guessing? It's got to be the same, literally the same setup as one of these ancient ones, right? Just more grippy? Certainly. Why do they make these things so wonderful to get into? That's what I don't get. Torx. Let's grab the appropriate one. I think. What are bets on? Easier way, back end of tweezers, slide between RBLB and plastic, thumb on plastic and lift. Yeah. I go about the unknowing way. I really, really hate working on controllers. But thank you for that tip. I will have to try it. And provided this thing works, I can say goodbye and turn this thing into an actual parts controller. I've been over every bit of this board trying to fault find and figure out why the triggers are stuck at 100%, but no more. We should have, what, one more under the label? IPA. Do we have any within range without having to hunt? No, we do not. Yes, we do. See, the thing about removing labels with, or stickers with IPA, is they always end up slippery, at least the gloves and fingers, for a little bit till the glue starts setting back up and the alcohol evaporates. I think we'll be able to get it eventually. Still no grip. All right, perfect. And we're in. Little heat, yeah. Using IPA and rubbing label back in place, rub zinc off. Lowest temp on heat gun. Yeah, low temp on the hot air is always good. I've never done one of these labels with IPA though, so I wanted to, give it a shot. I think we saved the ink, and we should be able to clean up whatever mess is there from us grabbing at it. Anyhow, moving on. There's part one. And what are we betting on? Broken plastic or broken thumbstick? What is the bet on that one? And how much more do we have to tear apart? So we've got motors, and then what do these come in from? So we have our motors, and what are these wires? Has to be no. What the hell? Why am I at a loss for a moment here? What are those wires for? Obviously, antenna. Not even sure we need to undo these, but we'll find out. Let's go ahead, fire up the iron quick. We can just desolder this. Let's take a look. So it is gray and black on both sides, and then red and black. Gray, black, red, black, both sides. Top down. Gray, black, red, black. All the way. You know, I wasn't going to start this camera up today, but seeing how we're soldering, when we go to put it back, we'll use it so we can put it back. I just had the top shell fall off. I probably don't even, probably don't even need to go this far, but regardless, I want to lift that board out of there in case. Right. Let me get this right. So is it not even broken and it just popped off of there? That's going to be awesome. That's a good controller if so. Very good. Don't even have to harvest parts if that thumbstick is going to work as is. And once you don't full extend it, it doesn't lock. So without it, it locks. Okay. All right, learning here. I'm not the controller master. There's people better suited for this job than me. But yeah, and I can solder that stuff back in place. We don't even have to tear the board out. Don't have to tear it down further. One thing I want to see though is this likely to pop off. How did it pop off and kick the stick sideways and just kind of without being torn apart? Can you actually lift those? Boy, that would have to take some hit. No, I can't remove it off of there now. Oh well, free controller, so. Yeah. So left, I don't want to confuse these. We're gonna mark it. I just want to see under the scope that it's not all stretched out and scraggly looking or cracked or something. Like, how the heck did it come off of there is what I'm getting at. Like, see if we can get this camera working. Black screen. And live view. All right, perfect. Gwen will check this one first. This should, yep, there's the left one, and that looks absolutely fine. From what I can see, no cracks. So I didn't confuse them. And compared to the one that was popped off, I don't understand how it popped off. But hey, I'm all for it. So a little bit. What's that? So that does look a little bit dug up on the edge. Not bad. But yeah, no, that's not going to hurt anything. All right, fine. Good enough for me. Let's get back to the main job at hand. That should be fine. I don't think it's going to pop off of there. What's the consensus? Rage? No, Rage. It actually fell off a desk, is the story. This person is a huge into games, like every console. And like Game Pass, all that crap. And has lots of nice stuff. So, adult, been gaming their whole lives, and actually took a dive off a desk and popped loose. So, let's put it back together and have a controller that works. We don't have to even harvest anything from this piece of crap, which that's even better. All right. Set you here, put everything back in place. Can we zoom this? Oh, zoom. These are not going to look great, but we'll go back and touch them up. Yeah, what's happening there? In case of forgetting, gray is positive. Yeah. I came to that conclusion. I was thinking I would have to pull the board out, or I was not thinking I would have to. That I wanted to pull the board out to be able to remove the stick. Being the right one, isn't it hidden? Or no, it isn't. It's actually right there. Yeah, I'd still want to remove that regardless if we were going that far. But no, yeah. Could wrap stick with a little tape to thicken shaft slightly for better hold. Please. Hey man, learn. I'm not the controller person. I absolutely hate after the trials and tribulations that I went through trying to fix those triggers stuck at 100%. I made my mind up. I am not the guy to ever work on controllers. I'm not saying I won't. I've replaced a few analog sticks on different controllers and switches, but they're not my thing. If at all I can do something else, I will. We'll throw that back in a second. So what the heck is that? My phone dying? All right, let's check this situation out here. Do we actually need to do anything to those? I'm going to say no, but we'll look at it. It gives us something to look at, something to do. Stupid taking them off, but kind of an in case thing. in case I wanted to waste my time. Let's throw perhaps a little dab of this on. And just get everything fixed up. Yeah, no, we definitely want those on a little more so. And this is where I start burning stuff trying to do this under the scope when I should well alone know just do it by eye. You know, get better visuals looking at this way. Just don't touch the plastic, right? That's the goal. We'll throw some flux on and clean it back off and get those back on nice in one moment. Actually, flux may just do it. Let's try it. Very silly, but you know what? Why not? Make it look nice. Nobody's ever going to see it inside this controller. And I'm going to be the moron tearing it apart, if ever. So, yeah. That one kind of lifted. Not a fan, but it'll be okay. Let's go back to this side. And I think we can get away with flux there. I'm not going to go. Don't think we need to add literally anything. We're already nitpicking this one as is. The tape thing, I'm curious. I want to address that in a moment. Chris, you're talking about the not the actual plastic, but the center part, like the center stick that comes up from the actual analog stick. Wrap that so it gets better grip inside. All right, throw that out of the way, clean this up, and move on. You're talking about wrap that with tape. It's not that it's not grippy. It's just like, how did it pop off of there? Just taking a dive, you know? And is it likely to again? But don't think it really matters in my case. Are these the ones that turn? moving on. Center stem, so cover has a snugger fit. Yeah. We'll address that a different day. That's okay. So I was understanding correct. What the cap actually goes on to. Yeah, we'll address that different. If we have problems with my test controller, thumbstick popping off, then we'll tape it up. Playing with this thing for a few minutes was my way of avoiding a Samsung. I hate Samsung devices. Working on them, using them, everything about them. Was hiding from it, but no, we're to that point. Who else was in here? Rich. Is that Rich? That's a new name to me. I don't. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. We're at whatever time it is, wherever you are, Rich. I was just taking notice of that name, or your name up there. All right. The sticker is stuck. All right, let's rewind this a few moments and see. What was he saying? I don't have a mouse. Let me get a mouse. Back end of tweezers slide between RB, LB, and plastic. Some on plastic and lift. Back end of a tweezer. Where? In between what? RB, LB, right button, left, and plastic, some on plastic and lift. So you're saying in there. Ah, okay. Point well taken. Perhaps easier than my Pry marathon. What do we say? Do we really need to fire up a controller tester on this thing, being that a thumbstick popped off? I don't think so. All right. Stop hiding from the shit. We got to tear it apart sometime. These are the things nightmares are made of. Back to the part swap extravaganza. Let's look at it. Let's see which one of these two we have the screen for now, because whichever one we have, the other one's being delivered today. It was due in a couple of weeks ago, and a snowstorm halted it in its tracks. Okay, so it's not going to be this one. That's what's arriving today. And this is what we're replacing, and it's actually going to be easier. I guess the other one, potentially, because of the screen being bonded with the digitizer. I don't have a machine here to do that. We could do it by hand, but then when you seal a new screen down, you got to use the liquid glue and then cure it with light, and yeah, I don't want to get into that mess. So we're putting a board in here, and that is the battery. Let's hope that battery's good. If not, we'll have to swap that out as well. Let's do this one. We'll save this guy for another moment. This is arriving today, so we'll do that potentially tomorrow. We'll see. All right, how do we go about getting into this thing? That's the question. It's a Tab A10, or Tab A 10.1 inch. So an SMT 590. It's got to be back off. Has to be, right? Almost certainly back off. Let's start exploring. Where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? Rage pulled. Yeah, no, I know that it's one of my friends. I mean, possibly, but he said it fell off his desk. So, I don't think so. He's not the controller rager. That would be me. At least when I was little, man, I get mad at those things, and they were way more resilient. You'd break an old floor model TV screen with the old Nintendo and Sega controllers before the controller would break. Where's my part? Part. Right, so look, yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of clips holding that on, and we have that real thin bezel. So the back's going to snap direct off. We just need something thin to go in there. Very good point. Let's pull that, see if something's in there. Negative. What was the yeah to, Chris? Were you saying fire up the controller tester? Oh, do we have incoming? I'm hearing doors. Wow, there's so much junk in these. Not the electronics of the tablet. I mean, like as far as user junk jammed in the crevices. Hands, candy, soda, who knows what. Come on, make that jump on the corner, please. I'm going to grab something and at least wipe that border off. Most of it's stuck to the old digitizer that we're ditching, but you know, I'll try and give it a quick little clean. What do we got? What do we got? IPA is not a great cleaner as far as dirt and grit. It'll clean up sticky stuff, other chemicals. We may end up throwing some Windex on this thing. running tester off screen later in case it drops. Cause drifting. Oh yeah. Well, we'll fire it up. We'll fire it up before I go. Just remind me. I'm gonna try. I do have to run away. It's about 45, 50 minutes ish, something like that. Going to do my, not the day job at night, but the day job in the day job that I have now, the commercial cleaning that I do. So that takes up part of my Mondays and Tuesdays, and sometimes Wednesday. I think that's as good as we're going to get that. Doesn't look too bad. All right, whatever residue from a sticker that was gone. Yes. All right, off to the side with you. And let's look at this magnificent thing we have here. What shit do we have to disconnect? Obviously, battery. That would be number one, right? So we're going to do the antennas. Does the new one have those? It actually does. It has the daughter board too. Maybe we don't have to pull those. So right now, and this is just with past Samsung experience, I'm guessing possibly not so much with the tablets, but definitely with the phones. A difference in antennas would make a phone operate, like get signal or not get signal. So we're just going to go in and use the scope for what our eyes can't see. They should have a number on these boards. There we go. So SM, is that T595, T590, and that is indeed the model that we're working on, is the T590. So that is the T, what did I say? 595, T590 is the actual broken digitizer of the customers, and that's what we were looking at first. So we'll swap that over. Just make sure this board matches and it wasn't from some obscure model. T597V, 597P. So, will it affect it? Will it be any different? Don't know, but we're going to swap their board over. So there is a difference in number on that. So we'll swap their board over with it. Same shape and size. Let's hope all the contacts are the same. So I'm looking here, and I don't see. So we're looking, this is the part in question, and we have an antenna wire that would connect to whatever goes in here, but we don't have it on this one. So are we looking at cellular one? Well, no, this has room for a SIM card as well, doesn't it? Or perhaps not. Oh well. Oh well. Let's move the stuff over. Moose, what are you doing, buddy? Coco Moose, you're making it here often, my friend. Good to see you. I just looked up and saw you message in chat. It's always good to see familiar names or faces. How you doing today, my friend? What are you up to? What's good? What's good in whatever country you happen to be in now? How are we in here? Setting. All right, so we're going to take a quick look at this and see how to go about pulling this board. And granted, they may be the same, but they have different numbers, and past experience has told me change out the non-matching number for the matching one. So Wi-Fi E, it's this other board. And Wi-Fi D. Okay, so that would be the difference. Easier to join. Streaming early. Wow, I'm just finishing up this part swap extravaganza, you know? So I don't see anything locking this board in, which tells me exactly nothing other than it's possibly held in with the adhesive on the back. Let's try and give a little lift and just see. Yeah, definitely going to be some type of glue. So let's, what can we do? Move the antenna wires. So we'll fold those back just a little bit now. And, oh, wow. So the number continued. I didn't even catch that. T595, 590, 595C, 595N, 597. And two numbers on that one. Okay. We're going to throw some heat at this thing, see if a little bit of heat will let us lift this board out. Should. Doesn't mean it will. Not going super crazy with the heat either. Just a little. Just want to warm the board up to see if it's going to lift. And it is. That's good. There we go. Question. Or yeah. Problem solved. The board should be free unless it stuck itself back down. It's a good amount of adhesive. All right. And the job continues. What else do we have to swap? Not only are they a different color, these ones here, what I'm looking at, so that's the good part. Different color, different function. I don't think, let me see. So where this goes up and plugs in, we don't even actually have the antenna contact here. The little whatever this, I forget what these are called, but that little antenna connector. I want to say SMA, but I know it's not that. We're missing it, so we could just pull the wire. We're going to swap their board over, just fully do the swap like we would. Move all the customers' parts over that way. They have their property, and there's no doubt about it. Is adhesive stuck down on us, or are we just going to be able to lift it after the screw? Definitely adhesive, but there's no components, so we'll pry this one. More comparison time. All right, so we're going to look at the new one first. This is the new tablet. And just trying to see, so T595, T590. What is that? Same revision. SY. So SY 1837, SY 21. G. All right. Nope. Don't need to swap that part. We'll get away with leaving that part out. That little board, we're not gonna worry about pulling it. Let's get the motherboard out and then continue on. Don't even think we need to do that. We'll leave the headphone jack. Surely they can't be different from one to another. That assembly. Same tabs from last time. The digitizer, yeah. If you weren't here earlier, the digitizer where it was all mucked up, like the bonding between the outer glass and the digitizer where it had the diagonal streaks in. Yeah, I started the return on it, and the eBay seller actually contacted me and asked if I wanted another one sent out. I said yes, and they're like, "All right, well, don't even bother shipping that back. Just save on the shipping." Instead of toss it if it's no good, they'll send another one out. So it's on it. The replacement part is on its way. And then I also have another one, the other 10.1 inch Samsung digitizer that is for the other tablet of this size, but a different model. It is arriving today, but it'll be after I'm gone for the day. So I have to work on it tomorrow. See if there should be another screw or two. But yep, same tablets, same thing. Ooh, let's disconnect the last little camera. We'll have to move it over because it's not included with the new one. All right, let's take a moment. We'll set our board aside and take a moment and compare openings. See that there's no little pads, no little spacers, nothing like that we need to flop from the old tablet to the new. I don't think there is. Just room for the camera needs to go in. Actually, two. Is there one connected to the or whatever that is sensor? All right, so it is connected to the board. The ambient light sensor, proximity sensor, whatever the hell it is. It should literally just fall in. And I want to say this antenna would be great. It should work. But we're going to go ahead and pull it and put the customers in. Again, giving them their property. Difference in number on it doesn't make me feel easy when I know the price that I've paid with devices coming back from not switching antennas in cell phones. So we're going to go ahead and pop this one out, throw some heat at it quick, and lift it off the adhesive. We'll throw that on the back bench, get it out of our way. And then also that issue with that battery. Let's flip this since we're going to the new screen. Any little bits of glass that may be stuck in the foam, we'll try not to set this on. We'll use the opposite side now, hopefully. No scratches. So yeah, digitizer getting replaced. That's good. The one for the RCA is still coming from whatever way out obscure place in China or whatever country on a slow boat, scheduled for arrival sometime in the future. I'm just holding this up to a light source to check the lenses. I think we'll just clean them out with a swab real quick, cotton swab. Possibly a little IPA on the camera lens and the sensor lens. All right, good enough on that note. Get out of my hand. Start clearing everything back out of the way so we can get this board set in here. We still got to pop that out. Let's do that quickly as well. One go. Let's hope it goes in. No fight, just in and done. There was what, a piece of green tape there? Green tape. The other thing we need to check is, and if it's the same model, we'll try and keep up, or if it's the same model, depending on which port's better. But I'd like to put the customer's USB Type-C port in. It's still raining? No, not raining. Good. Possibly a nice weather-free drive to work. All right, and last couple final screws. Let's start plugging stuff in to make sure it's all going to do what is expected. It's a little worn down. Yeah, that should work. Where did we lose slack at? I'm going to go ahead and connect this and then try and run it back into the little channel that it goes into. Definitely heard a car that time. Don't know if it's here or not. We'll see. May have to mute. No, possibly the neighbors. There we go. All right, we have a display, and there was no tape on this big ribbon cable, which is funny. You worry about taping the one, but not this. Camera is much more important to see. So this is kind of cool. You don't see this with all ribbon cables. You are starting to see it with, then that's why there's no tape. You're starting to see it with, like, is it the Series X and PS5? Some of those have locking ribbon cables. This is like a early locking, not early locking design, but a different type of locking design. When you put it in, before you click the little tab down, you have these little holes where it will line up and kind of lock over this little metal tab, keeping it in, making your piece of tape not so necessary. So, kind of a cool little thing. You don't see those on a whole lot of devices, but still very cool that included on this thing, I suppose. All right, we have the bottom board here. Let's go ahead and throw that in quick. The empty no antenna board. We should have one screw to put into that. Then a camera and a ribbon cable to replace, and then I think we might be ready to try and power this thing up. The battery should not be an issue, but we'll have to charge up and test this one. See, like, you don't want it to charge, fully charge up to 100%. You turn it on, it starts dropping rapidly. So that's kind of one scenario that could happen with the battery. It doesn't charge up at all, it doesn't want to charge. And then we have our SIM tray. Let's plug that in. And our other ribbon cables. And let's see what the battery status is. I'm guessing since it's the battery that came in this, it's going to definitely be dead flat. If it was sitting on somebody's part shelf or eBay outgoing shelf, probably going to be fairly dead. Let's check the USB-C port and see what we can make out of how it's going to feel and charge. Let me grab, what do we need? Type C. All right, so instantly we get our little lightning bolt charge symbol. That's good. And voltage jumping up right away, 4.97, 4.7 volts, 34%, so it had some charge in it, and 1.9 amps. So that's not bad, charging up. We know it's easy enough to get back into. Let's go ahead and throw our back cover back on for now. And where's our buttons? Put the button side on. We'll start there, perhaps.
Hey Nick, how are you?
All right, bud, what's going on?
Hey,
Give me 1 second here. 1 sec. What's happening, buddy?
you're not using electric heaters over here, are you?
I use that sometimes when I'm in here, but that's only while I'm here, bud. What's going on?
Well, I've got an $800 electric bill.
Yeah, that's not me for sure.
Does that just have electric coils in it?
There we go. Had to mute for a few. But that happens. Anyhow, back to business. We got charge. I got the back cover on. As I was talking to the landlord for a few. Sorry about that. And yeah, I think this one's ready to go. Just in time for me to run away. I have to go to my other job. Leave here in about 10 minutes, 10-ish minutes. But we'll get this charged up. Make sure we're going to turn it on since it is charging. But we'll get this charged up for this customer. It can go in the stack with the other ones. And is it going to kick? Yes, no? Fingers crossed that it works. Let's go. Am I not hitting the power button? There we go. All right, you just have to let it kick off all the way before it'll turn on. All right, I don't know what is going to display on this, so I'm going to zoom out some and tip it up just till we see what's coming up on the screen. I don't want to throw people's info or photos out there. Samsung. And a good charging rate at that. Tablet is starting. Don't know what photo that is. It just looks like a random one, but all right. Tablet starting. And so far, so good. Digitizer is working, even with it starting up. You know how that goes. When a device is starting, they can be a little glitchy. Let's try and unlock one of these icons. Where did I pull that from? Here? Even that's the same thing. Okay, let's move it back out of there. I don't see any other folder that it could go in. Isn't that where I grabbed it from? Yeah, regardless. Charging digitizer seems to work. Let's what else can we check here? Brightness. So bright, dim, dragging stuff around in gloved hand works, so that works. Yeah, I don't know what else we can test with it. That seems to be good. We're going to get this one charged up, throw it in the pile, and let's check out what we're going to do. So here's what we still have to go. We've got this one. This part arrives today. This is, well, let me tell you. We'll look at it. T590. This is like a T210R or something like that. I forget. Unless this is the one. This is the T210R. Let's try and find the number on it quick. SMT210R. So we have this one to do. I do have the part for this one. This is arriving today. T59. I don't know. I have it written down. We need to get some juice into this guy. This is going to be not tab A7, so whatever that equals. SM-T whatever. But it's not on the back. It's just the serial number. It's on the back. Not going to be near as fun because it is an aluminum case. As far as I know, this is all aluminum. This one trim piece is here, but yeah, no, not much comfort in that one. I don't like aluminum cases and tearing them apart. However, mission accomplished on that one. Let's take a quick gander at this guy. These ones are, I don't know, I consider them somewhat of a nuisance. I'm trying to get everything to focus so it'll quit blurring. I never like doing these screens, and like I said, I wouldn't fix these, but I'm fixing all these to help somebody out that doesn't want to buy all new tablets. So be it. I advised against it, but whatever. But I didn't like these kind of tablets, and especially like the Galaxy S3 phones and everything from there forward, because of the little capacitive buttons that they have. They're such a nuisance. They could be a nuisance. We've got them there. Doesn't look like it's cut out for them, so potentially, hopefully whatever it is works right through either from this connection. Generally they're their own thing down here, so we're gonna have to really pay attention when we go to tear this one down to see that these buttons do indeed work. Definitely a darker font, and it doesn't, I'm holding it up to a bright light, it doesn't look like it's knocked out like these are. That's not printed. I think that's knocked out, like just lack of ink there, so the light shines through. That's printed on. So we'll find out what the story is as soon as we go to put this one on. But one of my least favorite was these ones with the capacitive buttons. Never liked it on the phones, tablets, all of them. Yeah, this is going to be first thing tomorrow project, or later tonight, but I won't be streaming it if it's later tonight. The other thing, and part arriving today. Where is the one that, this one? Looking forward to doing this one. The part just needs to get here on the slow boat first before we can go ahead and fix this guy. These are relatively easy to tear apart. But yeah, we'll cover this little RCA Voyager, whatever the heck this thing is, whenever that part gets here. All right, anyhow, it's time to get out of here. Time to go to work. Thank you for hanging out, people. I appreciate it. Gonna get out of here and be back tomorrow. I think we're gonna do this. I have this. The controller was too easy. That was actually disappointing that nothing was broke. I didn't even get to fix anything, harvest any parts, nothing. I literally had to put a part back in place. But yeah, I have a computer, but nothing special with it. I have a computer build to do. That's going to be fun. We'll perhaps thread that on stream. That'll be entertaining. It's a computer build for my friend. He built an Intel system. Yeah, of course. Had to try to influence it that way. But, not saying AMD isn't good. Yeah, let's wrap it up there. We'll see you real soon. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I need buttons. How do I end it? Buttons, buttons, buttons.